categories which we just talked about. So topically, it's good to clear congestion and it supports respiration, and of course I already talked about snoring. Now if I were applying oil topically for respiration, thyme essential oil, I would dilute it a little bit. And this is a great oil to combine with an oil like lime, or with lemon, or with bergamot, which also have some good respiratory benefits. It softens the aroma, makes it much more palatable, not quite as aggressive, and this becomes a great oil just to apply topically. If I'm dealing with these anti-parasitic responses, oral hygiene, or protecting the fatty tissues, that's really a good internal model to think of with this essential oil. Now later on I'm going to talk about how much we use. I've not given any specificity to that as of yet, saying that this is a good amount of essential oil to use and why we use this amount. And so let me bring some clarity into that a little bit later on and give you some directives on how we protect ourselves and we don't overwhelm ourselves when we're using the essential oils in this way. Let's talk about cassia and cinnamon. Now, I love cassia and cinnamon. One of the things that you'll begin to learn about essential oils is that much of the information that you see, they're not distinguished. They're not separated. Meaning that a lot of people believe that cassia and cinnamon are exactly the same thing. Well, they aren't. Cinnamon actually comes from the bark of the cinnamon tree, and cassia comes from the leaf of the cassia tree. They're not the same thing, and their chemistry is completely different, even though people use them interchangeably, and they sometimes report the science interchangeably as well. This helps you to understand some of the miscommunication that has existed with essential oils for a long, long period of time, and why all the research and the science that we're applying becomes really critical and very important. Now, they have some common benefits between them, and that's what I have listed here. They are really, really good for bladder function. Now, I'm going to speak very boldly about some things today, and I'm hoping that it'll be helpful. For urinary tract infections, I don't know of anything that's better than cinnamon or cassia. Cinnamon actually happens to be the best between the two of them, even though their chemistry is very similar. That's a great essential oil to add with a citrus oil like lemon and a little bit of lemongrass, maybe a drop of each, put it in a capsule, and UTIs can clear up very, very quickly. One of the things that I'm thinking about in the male environment is a lot of times as you get a little bit older, prostate troubles become a problem, and you may have frequency of urination. A little bit of cinnamon in a capsule, 2 or 3 drops in a capsule, once in the morning, once before you go to bed, will greatly help you be able to reduce that inflammation and control the bladder more appropriately. So some simple little tidbits by what I mean by that. As a mouth rinse, we know that they have great benefit in oral health as well. They're both very helpful. If, you know, a lot of times we think about essential oils for the cleansing that it has on our internal environment, but there's an external environment as well, so cleaning surfaces and other things. We can also look at it in the context of digestion and metabolism and stimulating an appropriate response within those. There's been a lot of research and a lot of study talking about cinnamon in particular, but cinnamon and cassia in helping the body to have more appropriate glucose responses. How many of you, just out of curiosity, how many of you know somebody with diabetes? Raise your hands up. Wow, almost every single person in the room. I mean, this is becoming a pandemic type illness and disease now. And there's been a lot of significant research saying that this is helpful and beneficial. Again, this is a 1 to a 2 drop model just in a capsule. Supports circulation, proper circulation, good for stomach ulcers, and it's a COX-2 inhibitor, meaning it breaks down or interrupts the cascade of pain and inflammation. Now, earlier I talked about how aldehydes, which is what we